Hello everyone, this is Terry Barnett. During this session, I'm going to present to you a hard shell case. This isn't one of the tough cases, it's not an OtterBox. What it is this is actually, I've ordered this from Skytech. The model, if you're looking for it for this particular phone, I'm actually using the Galaxy S2, which is known, since this is a Sprint version, is also known as the Epic 4G Touch. So this SAM stands for Samsung, and the D710 is the Sprint version of the Galaxy S2 Epic 4G. So there are a couple other companies that carry those. The differences are a lot of times it's where the camera lens is laid, sometimes it's sideways, and sometimes the shape is slightly different. I know in the international versions, a lot of these Epic 4Gs have just one button instead of the 4 classic Android buttons going across the bottom. In our case, though, it's not going to matter much because basically any case that you'd get for whatever phone it is you're working with, if it's one of these front and back type, maybe you got it from the mall, maybe you also ordered it from Skytech. This particular one, just so you know, I ordered it, I searched for one online for a white hard shell case that would match my phone or accent the features of my phone. And so even though this says Skytech, it was actually ordered through Amazon. So Amazon is where this actually came from. All right, and I'm sure it came from this company, but you know how the way Amazon works is you find a lot of products from Amazon, but then the actual product comes from the companies, either overseas or whatnot. All right, so we're going to go ahead and unpackage this. Take it out of the package here. It's got two pieces. It's got both a front and a rear. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the front side. We're going to flip it over. You want to make sure that you've wiped down your phone before doing this. I got a couple of fingerprints on here after I moved it, but I've also got a screen guard on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in, that hard case, making sure that I got it in there the right way. We should have the volume rocker over on this side and the power button on that side. It's got the, yep, everything's open and accessible. Okay, now the downside to one of these cases that I'm not real crazy about is once you get one of these on, they're very hard to remove most of the time. So if they're built well, they're usually harder to remove. For example, in one of my videos, I do a gel skin, a rubber skin, and that thing I can take it off anytime I want without any issues. So that's the upside of using one of the rubber gels. Looks like I'm having a problem here, so I'm going to grab this with both hands. All right, so like I said, the positive side of this is that this feels like a much more solid case than my rubber skin. It feels like a much more solid case. I think it actually looks slightly better when on. Downside is if you're doing a lot of, for example, I switch ROMs on my phones a lot. I like to play around with new technology and whatnot. Well, if you're one of those, if that's the case, then, no pun intended, the case, but if that's you, you probably aren't going to like this case very much because it's hard to get off. That's actually a good thing if you're just going to leave it on. So if you're the person who's going to put the case on and leave it, that's good. Now, I like this case over my rubber case because all of my buttons are open. On the other case that I have, on the rubber case, the power button's actually covered up. It's got a little nub on there, and then the rocker for the volume control has a little nub on it as well. So it's not, I'm not really crazy about that. We even have the open space. Now this is actually open on both of them. Is actually the space for you to put a cord if you want a cord on your phone. All right, looks like everything that needs to be open is open. All right, and you've seen the case, the hard shell case from Amazon from SkyTech.